Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Last Friday, probably only big event is the Intel EP. And coming to today, I was looking at the cryptos on the long side, but I don't like how it got rejected at the 150 EMA. Now it's staying below the 9 EMA on the 4-hour chart. The altcoin charts are much weaker. Looks like they're getting rejected at the 50 EMA, most of them. So I'm probably gonna reduce or maybe even exit my MicroStrategy or Galaxy. And I think maybe it's a good time to kill some profits off. Kills are 7% above the 50 EMA. It is a little bit extended, but not extremely extended. Maybe there will be another maybe 3 to 5%, maybe 3% on the around is very possible. I think coming into this week, my focus will be more on the profit taking side. Oh, it's down 35. Wow. I remember this thing is up 20% pre-market, and now it's down by 50% in just 2 hours. Purchase order update. That's probably surprise everybody. It should be an like a very sudden announcement. One stock that I think is looking good is CRML, lithium names. And I got shaken out from net on late Thursday, I believe. And it found support. Now it's actually looking pretty strong. CrowdStrike 2, they are the cybersecurity or the software names. IGV is kind of holding the 9 EMA after the gap down. Could go both way. Yeah, cryptos cannot push to the upside quickly. That it can't give me the confidence on the breakout. So I just sold my MicroStrategy and Galaxy. And Napiers closes below the 9 EMA on Friday. So I'm thinking should I close it now or just wait a little bit? Maybe set a hard stop below this candle or below the 21 EMA. Hopefully crypto is not shaking me out. Hopefully. And oil starting to found support on the EMAs. Now it's back above all the EMAs again. Looks like it's setting up to the upside, which I believe is not a good thing to the market. I'm gonna wait for the first 60-minute candle, probably. If they close this week on the 60-minute charts, then maybe I'm going to take out some of them. CRML is having a strong breakout. Let's see whether it will pull back after the first 15 minutes. Car is still. Oh, car is. No, I don't think it is. I don't think it's worth it to long this car. They start slowing down on Friday. Today, just a small gap down. Like it's not a small one, but still compared to the previous waterfall, it's just a small gap down. Doesn't worth a try, I think. So this is not the actions that I would love to see. Seeing some breakdowns. Don't think I will enter the software names today, given the possibility of a pullback on the indices and the general market. Not sure whether the software strength can outperform the market. Another thing I'm also thinking is this is the first pullback of the semis bull run. I'm thinking, how much should I hold and how much should I sell, given the could be a high opportunity for setting up for another leg up, although the weekly date looks quite extended. Yeah, it did look quite extended. And Nvidia is actually at the previous high, like an all-time high, start just below it. Could face some resistance at this level. Yeah, I really don't like how strong the oil is holding up. I think I'm gonna sell. So I've sold AOI, sold Q, sold Nebius, and ARM. CRML is pulling back. The remaining three, gonna wait. Gonna wait a little bit first. But starting to like having a stronger feeling of a short-term pullback, if not the end of this this bull run. Actually, semis are up 50% since the low of March, and the weekly is actually very extended. But maybe we're doing something like this back in 1998. So it looks extended, but it keeps going and going. Maybe I just panic sold the positions, but I think it's acceptable, and at least I still keep the remaining three. So this is the daily chart of Nasdaq back in 1998. I think we're doing a similar thing. So it did kind of a chop for 3 months, and then have a lockout rally above the 9 EMA for 3 months. 70-80% for an index 80% move 3 months. That would be unbelievable. Maybe this would be one of the biggest mistake that I made in 2026, selling the winners too early. Yeah, maybe. And quantum names are actually gets rejected at the 50 EMA weekly. Now it's below all the EMAs on the daily chart. I think it could be a short in the coming days if it bounce into the 50 EMA or the declining 9. HIMS looks pretty good, but it's still below the 50 EMA weekly. Then this above 1,000 today. I didn't buy even one share of this thing since this uptrend back in September last year, when it was still below 50 bucks, and now it's 1,000. Morning earnings tomorrow. I think right now market is entering the state that I don't know what to do. Selling into strength or waiting the pullback, and then selling to weakness. This is always the toughest decisions in my trading. Yeah, I have no idea. Poets is down 50% today. Pre-market is up 20%. and then probably down 60% since the pre-market highs. At this kind of gap down, a huge gap down, more than 30% gap down, reminds you the importance of risk management, especially on the small and micro caps. I got one from Surf last year, so I think this one. So after you got sucked in, like just a gap down for more than 30%, you're gonna respect the market and realize the importance of risk management. Also, the randomness in the market as well. You will never know what the market's gonna do tomorrow or just the next second. You will never know. If I tried to enter Intel EP last Friday, yeah, I was not trading at my desk, but I tried to trade it on my phone, and then I think I tried it twice, but both got stopped out. Then I just leave it there. The market looks like it's a little bit weak, and I really don't like the strength on oil. Will I buy oil this time? I am bullish, but I think I'm not gonna buy it. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna sit out and be an audience. Maybe it's just a pop and then a quick or a powerful trend starting here. It's also possible, but I don't like the volatility above the 100 area. I think sometimes it's okay to be a little bit over selective, and I think oil probably not gonna make a 100% move in the coming weeks or months. So even though I'm bullish here, I think maybe it doesn't worth the potential risk reward is not that attractive. And given the fact that I'm still having some long exposures on the equities, which could mix the trades up if I also long oil at the same time. So maybe it could lead to some like irrational decisions, like panic sells, or I just lose on both sides of the trades. How do I form a perspective on current base using various time frames? First of all, like the higher time frame is the bigger picture that I think would lay the foundation of my market view. Let's take Qs as an example. If I am bullish, like for now, Qs is almost 2% above the 9 EMA, so it's not close to any of the EMAs. So this is on a daily chart. At this moment, I'm not going to be very aggressive on the long side. Yeah. So because the daily time frame just telling me that this is extended right now, then I'm not going to chase the breakouts right here. And then, so if you wanted to short the market because it looks extended, like if it's really extended, let's imagine this is maybe like above 700 rather than 660 now. So if I want to short like the extensions or do a mean reversions trade, I would just zoom into the lower time frame maybe 60 minutes or 5 or 50 minutes, probably 50 minutes. And for my style of entry, I would look for the rejection on the EMAs in the lower time frame. Given the fact that the daily charts, the daily time frame, uh, the index or the market or the stock is very extended on the upside and could have a higher chance for a mean reversion or just a pullback or a reversal, etc. But I don't think it is that extended right now. But like let's say the market is above 700, maybe shorting on the 15 minutes pullback into the 9 EMA is a possible entry. I think light could possibly be a short candidate if market's starting to turn lower. Like to see it close below the 21 EMA first, and then short the rebound if there's any. But it's just an idea. It's too early to tell. Yeah, the string of oils really puts me in the bearish side. Not a fan of this price action. Maybe crypto could be also a short if they loses the 9 EMA in the coming days. I'm not sure. Not sure. Sometimes I'm always too early on both the long and the short side. So generally, when I started to feel bearish or bullish, like on something, it takes a few days or even a few weeks for the idea to really works out. So it's very possible that the market can push further higher before the reversal. I think the weekly charts generally want to see a overshoot for the prior candle high. So something like this. So it tries to push higher, breakout for the previous candle high, and then the reversal. Or something like this. Also push higher and then it fails and gradually come back. Yeah, software stocks getting stronger during the pullback. IGV is still holding the low of today and also the swing low on Thursday. Now the EMAs to start trending up, crossing up. I think they have the potential on becoming the next leader. Come on, crypto, please don't shake me out. If they found support and then rips higher, then that would be really sad. Well, not a fan of this 5-minute candle, but like 5-minute candle is having too much noise, so I'm not gonna overreact on it. But let's see how the market is gonna develop. Software names are really strong today. MicroStrategy is back to green. I believe that's it for today. Not going to do much except for managing the remaining positions. Software names are definitely the ones that is showing some strength today, especially on the day that the semis are pulling back. Yeah, so I also don't know what to do, and really not a fan of this oil, and we'll see whether the market would react on that. Right now is still hanging up pretty well, but given the short-term extensions and Yes, some leaders trying to close below the 21 EMA, and we'll see. Now it's still, I think, a little bit too early to tell, but we'll see. So thank you for coming, and we'll see you in the next one.